Hello and welcome to one of my transcription explanation videos. I am the scribe of Sirkles, and if you've seen one of these videos before or are familiar with my script, you can go ahead and skip forward and get to the design transcription itself, where I read the artwork letter by letter using this script. But if you're not familiar with the script or just want to hear me ramble for a bit, let's go ahead and get into how to use the Sirkles key. So, this is set up in a grid. You'll notice we have rows and we have columns. And these rows are determined by the letter stems. So there are 4 different letter stems. There is a deep divot up in the top row, and that deep divot is more than 50% of a circle, like a horseshoe or an omega. So that's this one here. And then there's a shallow divot stem in the 3rd row down here, and that shallow divot is like a bite taken out of a cookie, 50% or less of a circle. Then we have our completed circle stems in the 2nd row and in the bottom row. And this 2nd row stem is a completed circle, but it's inside the word circle. Whereas the bottom row, it's on the line of the word circle. And that can be anywhere on the line. It doesn't have to be centered like shown, or that inside the word circle can be kind of more towards the middle, but just make sure you can tell where its position is, because the reading order for this script is bottom counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. So, start at the bottom, go counterclockwise, like 6 o'clock going around the clock. So, that is the reading order and the letter stems. Now that is how you get in the rows. Now to get the columns, we have dot modifiers and we have line modifiers. And that fine print up here matters. So these dots, they count at whatever letter they're closest to, whereas the lines, they count where they end on a letter stem. So where they connect and stop on the letter stem, which is again that black bit of our letters, so things are color-coded. This blue one is the word circle, the black line is the letter stem. So if a line were to end on that letter stem, it would count for a line modifier, but if it goes through the letter stem, it doesn't count. So this line going through the letter stem doesn't count on the letter stem, but it does count on the vowel. So let's go down and talk about vowels now that we've talked about the dot modifiers, line modifiers, and letter stems. Vowels are these little guys, and they look similar to dot modifiers. The biggest difference being dot modifiers are filled in, or vowels, they're open in the middle. So an A is outside the word circle, and it is the only thing entirely outside the word circle. Everything else is somewhat touching or connected or inside the word circle. And our centered vowels, the I's, E's, and U's, are centered either on the line of the word circle, or they are inside the word circle, but they're centered inside the consonant stem. So that's what this shows. This shows what a B stem would be with a vowel on it, an O, an E, or an A. Or this would be a J stem with the O, the E, and the A, so on and so forth. And then the difference between the I's and the U's are these lines. So this green line going towards the center of the word circle is what makes an I an I. A U has a line going away from the center of the word circle. So if this is the word circle, the I goes towards it, the U goes away from it, and similarly here, I, U. And that's relative to the word circle. So, not the sentence circle or anything else. It's relative to the word circle. So, sentence circle. Sometimes you can put a sentence circle around your word circle if you so choose, especially if you have punctuation, because that is where the punctuation marks go. They're all noted here. And a sentence circle, it can have these decorative divots to kind of fill an empty space between words, so long as you can tell that, you have a sentence circle with a word circle. You could sneak in a secret word in the sentence circle if you wanted, but that is generally, not something you would expect people to read. And then there's this start marker, which is optional. If you have the reading order in the typical bottom counterclockwise fashion on a design that will be oriented bottom with a top and a bottom, you don't need your start marker. You can put that there if it's something that'll spin, like a sticker, or if it's something that will, have multiple kind of start places. If you're writing a poem or something, you can use the start marker as a bit of a roadmap. I tend to not use a start marker when possible because most of my designs are used as tattoos, which there's a person attached to a tattoo and they'll tell you where to start and which direction is up or down. So yeah, the last bit is this letter stacking junk. stack. And this is complicated. This makes a lot more sense in practice, and if I use letter stacking in the design, I'll go more into this in the specific design. Otherwise, the quick and dirty is letters in the same row can be stacked. That means they have the same letter stem. You read thin to thick, and same thickness means same letter. So you don't need to double up the modifiers. If you have like a double L, you don't need 6 dots, because an L has 3 dots. It's just you have 2 of the same completed circle, like a double circle. That's an L. If you were to write an L and a J, then you need one line with the 3 dots by it to be thinner, and then the J to be thicker, because you read thin to thick. Vowels are read after consonants, so this would be a B before the O, E, or A. This would be a J read before the vowel, so on and so forth. And a slash through a vowel, so like not a line modifier, not connecting to anything else, but just like a little hash line through our vowel, moves it up 1 letter in the stack. So that is letter stacking, and letter stacking is tricky. If you'd like to learn more about letter stacking, you can read the full guide document here, or you can see the video tutorial here, and I go more in depth as far as the different ways different things can look in that video tutorial. And if you're more interested about the history and development of the script, these are the presentation slides me and Lauren give at panels at conventions and stuff, where we talk about the history and development of the script, as well as its use on Doctor Who. Most people will recognize this script from Doctor Who, but this is actually something from a couple of nerds in high school that Doctor Who has used. So big difference there. This is not something we took from the show. This is something the show got from us. So it's free for anybody to use, even commercially, so the show didn't step on our toes or anything. It's just really cool to say that, yeah, our silly little circle language is what the BBC has used to represent circular Gallifreyan, the language of the Time Lords on Doctor Who. But that being said, it's not official or canon. It is just, something some nerds made that the show has used, which is a big deal. But I mean, the show's also used like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. They're not a thing from Doctor Who. They're a thing that Doctor Who has used. So yeah, this Sirkles script is what the Doctor Who show has used as Gallifreyan. So yeah, that's the legalese, the technical history and stuff. There's screenshots and stuff in the presentation. If you're interested, just check that out. And then I have, of course, some useful contact and links. That's my email. Feel free to email me with questions. Then shermansplanet.com is Lauren's main site, where there's more information about what they've been doing, as well as information on Gallifreyan there. And then, of course, my Etsy, where I have all of the different options as far as custom stuff I can make for you with the Sirkles. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the design transcription for the specific design of this video. See ya in a bit. Hello and welcome to this transcription explanation video. I did 3 designs for this project for the 2 engraved pocket watches. One of the designs is on both of the pocket watches, and it is the design that says Dearest Grandson. And you start reading at the bottom and you go counterclockwise, or at this little start symbol. See how there's a little chunk taken out of our thicker circle there and there, or on this one we just have an independent little start marker here, and that tells you where to start reading. And in this design, which says Dearest Grandson, we start with a deep divot that has 1, 2, 3 dots nearby, and it looks like these dots could go with this shape here, but this shape is interrupted by this shape, so this is actually just a really sneaky set of lines on this shallow divot. So this, if we can erase it from our little visual what counts processing section, we can tell that these 3 dots are way closer to this letter stem than this one, or this one, which are the only other actual letter stems on this whole word. So these 3 dots go with this D, and then we have an E centered right in the middle of it, and then we have an A outside the word circle, a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots, making it an R, and this is an E instead of an A, because if we follow this line right through, it is on the line of the word circle. If I wanted this to be an A, it'd have to be outside that line, like this one. And then we have an S with 1, 2, 3 lines, and then a T that has no lines. So D-E-A-R-E-S-T. And then we have a G, deep divot, with 1 line, another R with 3 dots, an A outside the word circle. This N has 1 line on it, and another 3-dot letter, except instead of a shallow divot that doesn't curve back in on itself like an omega or a horseshoe, this one does, making it a D, just like this D here. And then we have an
S with 1, 2, 3 lines on it there, and then an O with the little vowel attached on it like a bead on a string, and then another N, so Grandson, so grandson. So dearest grandson in this first circle, and then I tried to make these two name circles look substantially different from each other. Come on, let me make my screen a bit bigger. Okay, cool. And I did this one a bit busier, like a starscape, and really leaning into that Darren has a longer name than Evan, and wanting to make it look a bit more full, and this one a bit more mechanical. And for our first letter here, we have 1, 2, 3 dots on the deep divot for the D, and then we have a 1, 2 dot Y. Even though this dot is kind of off by itself, it is still far closer to the Y than any other letters, like this L. So D, Y, L with 3 dots, the A outside the word circle, and then we have the N here. So there's Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N, and then we have Evan, E, little guy, on the line of the word circle. So even though I said the bead on the string thing, that's only if the vowel is on a consonant stem, so already on a letter. If it's by the word circle itself, it is on the line if it's an E, inside if it's an O, outside if it's an A. So this is an E. Then we have a V with 1 line, A outside the word circle, and another N, just like our other N's. So we have dearest grandson, Dylan, and Evan. And those are those designs. I hope this video makes sense, and I hope you like your watches. Bye!